And now, with the most famous word in motorsports, our singer here today, Kylie Jerwick.
Drivers, start your engines.
Great job, let's go! NASCAR, Whelen Modified Tour Racing. Let's go upstairs to Joe Koss.
Well, thank you, Steve. The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour comes to life here at the Riverhead Raceway for the Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200 and stop 4 of the 2023 season. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Koss, and on behalf of the Whelen Modified Tour, we are so thankful you decided to come back here today in person and join us after the race delayed for weather here yesterday. A picture-perfect day to go modified racing here on Long Island, and what a season it has been so far. Ronnie Silk started things off for us in the month of February at New Smyrna Speedway. The victor there, Austin Beers, earned his first career Whelen Modified Tour victory at the Richmond Raceway. That came in the month of March, and 2 weeks ago, Monadnock Speedway in Winchester, New Hampshire, that went to Doug Coby. 3 different winners in 3 races here this season, a very tight championship battle at the top of the standings. And this race, I think, is going to be a pivotal race when we look back at the end of the 2023 season as who will become the Whelen Modified Tour champion, because there are 3 races here at Riverhead throughout the season, and getting this place figured out is going to be key to your path to a title. The tight battle at the top of the standings. Justin Bonsignore is on the pole for today. He's a 9-time winner here at this racetrack. And he came here, he grew up running at this racetrack, started like many of the local Long Island drivers. He's on the front row alongside a guy by the name of Ronnie Silk, who is a series champion in his own right. Plenty of local favorites in this one. It's going to be exciting. Stories are deep. 200 laps, green flag action here today at Riverhead. Steve, you can't ask for anything more in modified competition.
What a perfect day it's turned out to be. Great job by all these campaigners to make it back here today. Great job by NASCAR and the owners of this facility to call it early in the week so that people weren't stuck trying to find places to stay. And we get the benefit of it here today for the Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200.
Now, as the cars come up to speed, we got to highlight one of the stories that came out of the pit area after qualifying. If you were here with us earlier today, Doug Coby, who was quick in practice, came out onto the racetrack. His car never really came up to speed. Went back to the pit area to find out what was wrong. They had made a rear-end gear change after practice before qualifying, and they put the wrong gear combination in it. It was almost like the gears that they would run at the mile up in New Hampshire in Loudon, a very different setup than what you need here at this racetrack. The challenge for them is they had to change the gears back to the appropriate setup for here at Riverhead. Means they are being penalized with an impound procedure violation. And Doug Coby, when we see the green flag here today in that 7 New York car, is going to have to park his car in the infield for a 2-lap penalty, and will be able to rejoin the field once they go by that second time. And so Doug Coby, defending race winner in the 7 New York, penalized 2 laps for an impound procedure violation. He's going to be 2 laps down right from the hit of the green flag.
And here's the problem with that. The field is so tight from front to back, they start lapping cars right away. So if Coby's already down 2 laps, and the leaders get to the back of the pack, those cars are only 1 lap down. So to get the free pass, Coby's got to hope for 2 early cautions where no one's been lapped yet. Otherwise, he may stay 1 or 2 laps down the entire race.
He'll need luck to fall his way early, that's for sure. So the 7 New York and Doug Coby is eligible for that free pass, but he will have his work to do. Up front, though, on the front row, you got Justin Bonsignore and Ronnie Silk, and these 2 have been at the front of the field just about all season long. But there's a kid starting there in the inside of row number 2 in the form of Dylan Slepian. He's a local favorite here. He's run very good in modified competition here at this racetrack. And you know what? He's got a bunch of confidence coming into today's race.
He does. In the last 2 races here, he had 2 top 5 finishes. He was great here last Saturday night. He got penalized for contact with somebody, went back to 18th, drove back to the 2nd spot.
Field rolls through turns 3 and 4 atop the flag stand. Bob Slade will give him the clenched green flag. 1 lap to go before we go racing here at the Riverhead Raceway. Get up on your feet as we get ready to turn them loose here in the Buzz Chew Cadillac Chevrolet 200 at the Riverhead Raceway. 200 laps. You got to be on it all day long. No tires down on pit road to bail you out if your race car isn't handling right. You got to muscle your way through it. Chevrolet pickup truck going to head for cover. Field rolls through turns 3 and 4. The green flag is out, and we're racing at Riverhead.
Justin Bonsignor to the inside. Ronnie Silk to the outside. Silk 0 for 23 here in Modified Tour competition, trying to nail down his first win here this afternoon. But Bonsignor in car number 51 will come to the early race lead.
Bonsignor out in front. The battle now for third. Dylan Slepian working now the inside of Austin Beers. Caution flag is out. Doug Kobe 2 laps down, released off the back straightaway. 2 cars into it. It is a 26 of Gary McDonald and the Turbush number 81 for Chris Turbush off turn 2.
Did not see how that started or how that happened, but Chris Turbush, car number 81. Right rear flat tire. That early caution should benefit Doug Kobe.
We'll see what the official call will be. Again, 2 laps was the penalty for Doug Kobe. He's at the back of the field. He just rejoined the competition as the incident happened up off turn number 2, and so we'll let that get sorted out. So Justin Bonsignor leading the way. Ronnie Silk there in second. Dylan Slepian, Austin Beers, and Eric Goodale, the top 5 here in the early stages. But came up off turn 2. We get a look at it here on the replay. About mid-pack, you saw the 81 go around. Might have been a bit of contact there between the 26 of Gary McDonald and the 81 of Chris Turbush as they exited turn number 2. And it doesn't look like it. It looked like the 81 might have just gone around on his own. All right, so first caution of the day comes out here on just lap 2 of the Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200. And we talked about it a lot coming into today's race, but the local drivers are really a key part of this, Steve. And it's what makes this race interesting because you've got so many local talent. This is one of the few racetracks that we race on that races tour-type modifieds weekly here. Those are the same race cars, save a couple of changes, wait for fuel that you have to move around because you've got a 200-lap race. And it's a reason why the local drivers are so competitive here today.
For years, the local drivers look, this is like their Daytona 500 when the modified tour comes to town. And what's great with the officials here and everybody over the years, a lot of our drivers have been treated so well by the tour and given that equal respect to the tour that they've gone out on the tour. You know, a weekly driver that was on the tour, Timmy Salamito, over the years. Justin Bonsignor won a championship here on a weekly basis. J.B. Fortin also ran here on a weekly basis, but they enjoy running on the tour because of the treatment and obviously to go to other venues. And, you know, it's just, and you get a night like when Kyle Soper in June was able to win this race. A Long Island regular hadn't won it since Eddie Brunhusel Jr., which was 20 plus years. So, but they're always competitive. This kid in the 10, Dylan Slepian, who's currently sitting third, Slepian's top 5 last 2 times here with the modified tour.
So field has been given a 1 to go signal. We're going to turn them loose here next time through as they come back around. And keep a quick little look at the scoreboard. Doug Kobe still 2 laps down off the race leader. Green flag is out and quick firing on the bottom. Justin Bonsignor able to get away from Ronnie Silk. Here comes Dylan Slepian trying to sneak the nose in underneath.
A much better start that time by for Justin Bonsignor. Silk settles into second. The battle is for third. To the inside, Dylan Slepian. To the outside is Austin Beers. Slepian will try to clearly come to the third spot, and he does. That opens the door on the bottom for John McKennedy.
John McKennedy traditionally has not had great qualifying runs, and he knew today if he wanted to run well, he needed a good, solid qualifying effort. He got that today. Started towards the front of the field in the 6th position, right now inside the top 5. He's known as a long-run driver, but at a track like this, if you got a lot of long-run speed but you start 20th, you use all your equipment up before you get to the front. So it'll be curious to see how John McKennedy handles his top 5 run at the moment and see if he can carry that momentum through the race.
And he's done that in the past, as you said. He's had to come from deep in the field, and by the time he gets in the top 5, he's just out of race car.
Ron Silk putting some pressure on the race leader, Justin Bonsignor, out in front. Tried to take a look underneath off turn 2 as they came up off the corner. And he settled back in. Silk searching for speed. A bit deeper in the field, Timmy Salamito is in a good side-by-side battle, working out to the inside for the 5th spot underneath Austin Beers.
Great battle there for position number 5. And you can see Silk is now running the line that Bonsignor had been running. Silk was up towards the middle of the groove. Now he's down on the bottom like Justin Bonsignor's doing to find his fastest way around this raceway.
Now right behind Salamito is a 60 of Kyle Soper. Now Matt Hirschman was slated to run this race when it was run yesterday. The rain pushed it to today, Sunday. Hirschman had another commitment that he couldn't be here, so the car owners called Kyle Soper, who was a winner here, a 4-time track champion, and a winner of the Whelen Modified Tour last year. They got him in that 60 car. Soper's up to 6th right now, off to a pretty good start. He's picked up 3 positions in the opening handful of laps.
And I did speak to him down on the grid. He said he was very comfortable in this race car and couldn't wait to get going here. And a nice start for him as they've come to the 6th spot, 17 laps in.
So he's on the move. He didn't even have a NASCAR license as of Thursday when the rain date changed to Sunday today, and he got all the physical and requirements done for the day today, and he was able to go racing. So we'll see what he can turn into that team. That's a Baker-owned Elite Towing number 60, so a little bit different than the car, the PD Motorsports team that Matt Hirschman usually drives for.
19 laps down. Ron Silk now looks to the inside of Justin Bonsignor. Bonsignor shuts the door. He's able to hold on to the lead as they head down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Here comes Salamito with a move to the inside of John McKennedy. Timmy Salamito strong early here in this event as he is now on the back bumper of Dylan Slepian, who runs 3rd. The battle is for 4th.
Timmy Salamito was fastest in practice earlier today. He drives that blue number 66 machine. A part-time runner on the Modified Tour now, but it was a 3-time winner and had a full-time ride for a period of time. That 66 car, a little bit loose that time off turn number 2. He said, we knew that we were going to be good in race trim. We missed the qualifying setup a little bit, but he felt pretty confident in the race trim, Steve. And as you said, a good solid run so far. Started in 8th, he's up to 5th, and he's putting a lot of pressure on the top 4.
I'm impressed with John McKennedy early on here. Normally, if he uses up his race car, he's coming from deep in the field. And right now, he's to the outside of Dylan Slepian for the 3rd spot. And he'll take that position away.
He's a reigning Whelen Modified Tour champion, is the 79 of John McKennedy. And he's done a nice job now to move into 3rd. Had a really good run a couple of weeks ago at Monadnock Speedway. He was deep in the field, worked his way up, and had a lot of strength at the end of the race to have a good top 5 finish. And already up to 3rd.
And Dylan Slepian, car number 10, fell back there as he got stuck behind the lap car of Melissa Fifield. But he gets back in line. He'll just ride here for a bit as Ronnie Silk puts more pressure on Justin Bonsignor as he tries to cross him up. He's into the back bumper and underneath him as they head to turn number 3.
His best position now to the inside of turn 3. Silk working the bottom lane of the racetrack as Bonsignor tries to pinch off the corner, getting into turn 1 and 2, but Silk able to keep the bumper alongside, now sticks the nose out ahead and takes over the race lead here, now 28 laps in.
Justin Bonsignor tries to cross him over, looks to the inside, but Silk able to hold that spot, and he heads down the back straightaway. John McKennedy now to the rear bumper of the 51 car of Justin Bonsignor. Bonsignor to 2nd, McKennedy to 3rd, Timmy Salamito to 4th, Kyle Soper to 5th. 6th is the 10 car, Dylan Slepian. 7th, Austin Beers. 8th, the 58 car of Eric Goodale. 9th, Anthony Masella. And 10th, Jack Hanley Jr.
We keep seeing the 79 of John McKennedy ride the outside lane. Not many other drivers willing to go up there. And now McKennedy starts to follow in the tire tracks of Justin Bonsignor. And when he does, he's actually closing in on Bonsignor a little bit. When he was running a high groove, he was keeping pace, but not able to gain more speed. And right in the tire tracks through turns 1 and 2 is McKennedy. And he is right there now within inches of the back bumper of Justin Bonsignor in the battle for 2nd.
I wonder this early on, did McKennedy just want to see what he had on the outside there, and now he'll settle in and not beat that car up because he knows what he has in that Middlesex Auto number 79.
The race leaders in heavy lap traffic. We've got one car around in turn 2. Roger Turbush is spun, and the caution flag comes out on lap number 34. So Turbush goes around, bringing out our second caution flag of the day. He's trying to get back on track. And that's the second one of the day here, lap 34.
Car number 88, Roger Turbish, went around there out of turn number 2. now. Ronnie Silk, car number 16, has come to the race lead. About 10 laps of pressure he put on Justin Bonsignor and then was able to get underneath him out of turn number 4 and make the pass coming off of turn number 2.
That's a team that looks very good here this year, the 16 of Ronnie Silk. They won the race in New Smyrna. Now, he had come together with his new team owner and Tyler Height and Joe Yanone, Height Yanone Racing. They had raced in other series prior to running the Whelen Modified Tour, so they did have some familiarity with each other. But they teamed up with Phil Moran last year, and everybody thought that that combination was just going to hit it right away. 2 former champions, one is a crew chief, one is a driver, and really be able to fire on all 8. But it didn't happen that way, and they didn't go to victory lane last year. But, boy, they started out this year at New Smyrna with the win, won the premier 75th anniversary 1948 Cup, remembering when they started NASCAR racing on the beaches and the sands of Daytona and up A1A and down the beaches of Daytona. Well, Ronnie Silk and this team, they have been in the mix all 3 races to this point, and now the 4th race of the season. They've got something going on this year that's going to be hard to beat.
And I had the opportunity to speak to Phil Moran earlier. He just looked at me and said, remember how bad I wanted it with Doug Coby? I said, yeah. He goes, I want this one worse. And he said,
4th position, so she will come around and be the last car on the lead lap. Doug Coby, who was assessed that 2-lap penalty for an impound procedure violation after qualifying, still remains 2 laps down in 26th. Green flag is out.
lap number 40. Green flag out once again.
Trouble on the front straightaway. Dave Zapienza bounces off the front stretch wall, and the caution flag is back out. He guides it into turns 1 and 2 where he comes to stop up against the outside concrete. But, boy, he came down on the start along the straightaway. Zapienza got into the outside wall. He bounced along the front straightaway concrete, tried to slow down before he hit the wall in turn 1, and then gently grazed it between turns 1 and 2.
Definitely has some right suspension damage on car number 36. I don't think he's happy with Tyler Ripkema.
That might cause a little more than suspension damage. So Zapienza into the back of Tyler Ripkema down here on pit lane. Right front tire is down for Dave Zapienza. Now remember that they've got pitting behind turns 3 and 4. They cannot change tires unless they have a flat. Dave Zapienza's got at least one of them. And the 32 of Tyler Ripkema is just slow along the front straightaway looking to get back in line. So pit road closed at the moment while the field circulates here. Caution flag out, lap 41, 3rd of the day, and Dave Zapienza is headed down pit road. Here's a look at what happened. On the front stretch, there was some type of contact. The outside wall for certain for the 36 of Dave Zapienza as they came up off turn 4. Zapienza was in the outside lane, came off the racetrack, and it appeared as though contact was made between the 32 of Tyler Ripkema and the 36 of Dave Zapienza, and Zapienza shot into the outside wall.
Yeah, Sap none happier, not very happy right now with Ripkema. And it just looked like Ripkema came off of turn 4 and just got a little loose and got into Sapienza. That's how Dave ended up at the fence here on the front stretch. Let's hope it's just a flat.
So Zapienza's car is rolling once again. They've got a new right front tire put on it, so we'll be seeing him come around the corner here and make his way back up through the racetrack here in turn 4. So Zapienza's car rolling again, but boy, he made pretty heavy contact along the right side. Wheels look to be rolling straight, but boy, by any mystery, somehow that was a pretty hard hit when he went in on the right side.
Yeah, he did hit the wall heavy here on the front stretch. I'm surprised. I thought, just from that angle, I thought he definitely had right front suspension damage. But he'll continue to roll along here. in car number 36.
So we'll get the green flag here. No, caution is going to come back out. They had given the field the 1-to-go signal, but they're still working on the lineup, so they'll give them one more lap to come around. The free pass here this time was Roger Turbush, and he will be back on the lead lap now. Doug Coby, the first car a lap down. As a matter of fact, there are no cars a lap down. Everybody is 2 laps down, starting with Doug Coby. So Ron Silk, the race leader, he took over the race lead on lap 28. He's been able to hold Justin Bonsignor, Timmy Solomito, John McKennedy, and Kyle Soper, your top 5 at bay so far, as we've got them doubled up, getting ready to go back into the green flag.
46 laps down here in the Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200. Ronnie Silk and Justin Bonsignor lead him out of the east-west management go zone. Into turn number 1, contact. Solomito into the back of the 51, who in turn hit the back of the 16. But it opened the door for Timmy Solomito.
Solomito fighting down there on the inside lane, but Justin Bonsignor will close that door in turns 1 and 2. Solomito now looks to his right elbow. He's got the 79 of John McKennedy working the top lane once again.
McKennedy's car is strong on the outside here. They look real good, but Solomito just doesn't have the drive that McKennedy does on the top side of the raceway.
And Kyle Soper right behind, willing to go with John McKennedy. Now Dylan Slepian, who started in 3rd, he has now slid back a little bit. He is hoping to be able to maintain that track position as the race goes on. He's fallen back into the clutches of Eric Goodale in the battle for the 6th position.
Solomito with a bit of a power slide got into McKennedy, then got off of him and gave him an opportunity to straighten out that 79 car, and Solomito will settle into the 4th spot.
So Solomito now 4th. Still wheel to wheel, a bit deeper behind them between Kyle Soper in the yellow and red number 60. Dylan Slepian now falling back in the outside lane. Eric Goodale, Austin Beers in a battle behind them. And Jack Headley in the 45 really sailed it in. He's another one of those local drivers in the 45 machine, back in the 12th position, and he had a pretty good run here last week in weekly racing.
Yeah, Jack Hanley Jr., car number 45, won here last Saturday night on a pass with 2 laps to go of Matt Brody. He now goes by John Beatty Jr. in car number 5 on the inside.
That's a battle for the 12th spot. Anthony Nocella directly ahead. J.B. Fortin behind them. J.B. battling with John Beatty, and J.B. Fortin, his dad, John Fortin, multi-time track champion here at the Riverhead Raceway, was very, very successful, and like many of the drivers in the field, another hometown driver hoping to put on a good show in front of friends and family today.
And J.B. Fortin normally runs very well in these events. What gets the best of him is he's aggressive. He's over-aggressive on time. But he's dialed that back here in 2023, and he's doing a great job taking his time coming through this field right now in car number 34.
He's back in 12th, and the team bought a shock dyno. They had a bad shock over the first couple of races of the season. They've tested everything now and fixed the problem that they thought they had, and we'll see if that was the issue that they had at the end of 200 laps here today, and whether or not that 34 car can find the speed that they hope to have. Back up front, Ronnie Silk leading the way. Justin Bonsignor, John McKennedy, they are all there right on his back bumper.
Not much distance between the top 3. And Timmy Solomito, Dylan Slepian, I mean, they're all nose to tail. So a great job right now by the 16 car. 60 laps into this event, make it 61 this time by for Ronnie Silk. Justin Bonsignor now putting some pressure on in car number 51.
Ronnie Silk running just fast enough to control the pace of the race and maintain the race lead, but not use his equipment up. A lot of racetracks we go to, you worry about the right rear tire, like we had last time we ran at Monadnock Speedway, and next week at the Lee USA Speedway in New Hampshire. Here, you got to go pretty hard, but it's both the right front and the right rear you've got to protect at this racetrack.
The right front takes a lot of wear on it, because you got to send it in the corner here and lean on that right front tire. But as you see Silk all the way down to the bottom, he's kind of easing it in the corner, and he's been able to drive it off much faster than the 51 car of Bonsignor 65 laps into this event.
And you're never really full throttle on the straightaway here. You just about get it to full throttle, then you got to ease it out. When you're trying to pass somebody, then you give it a little bit extra to get underneath somebody. But most of the time, it's really about being very gentle, very careful with that throttle, not to spin the tires and use up some of that rubber that you might need later on in the race.
And Timmy Solomito will tell you he lifts at the start-finish line, so he can get off the corner faster than getting into the corner.
Yeah, roll the entry in, keep your momentum going, and then get back to the gas sooner to set those passes
Right,
up.
get
And
that big drive off.
how about like John McKennedy was just trying to do there underneath Justin Bonsignor, trying to root him up out of the way, but couldn't quite do it. We'll see how active the Chrome Horn gets later on in this race. We haven't seen anybody go too aggressive yet, but we're not halfway yet. Still a long race to go with this Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200 in stop 4 for the Whelen Modifieds this season.
They pretty much strung themselves out here as Ronnie Silk, car number 16, is your race leader. The 51 of Justin Bonsignor is second. Third is car number 79 of John McKennedy. Fourth, the 66 of Timmy Solomito. Fifth, car number 10, Dylan Slepian. He takes a peek to the inside of Solomito. Sixth, car number 60, Kyle Soper. Seventh, the 58 of Eric Goodale. Eighth, Austin Beers in the 64. Ninth, Anthony Nocella. And 10th, Craig Lutz.
They've started to catch the back end of the field, and Ronnie Silk has put Melissa Fifield back a lap down, and so in continuing to monitor that Doug Covey story, he is no longer the first car one lap down, and so that could impact his chances at getting the free pass. So that continues to be a story as the race goes on. Time clicks away, and Ronnie Silk goes by another race car. So now you get into that period of time where you've got all types of lap traffic that you got to start navigating around. That's where that high line that John McKennedy was running earlier will really come into play.
And McKennedy's been good up there the entire race. He's tried it twice. It's worked twice to his advantage. So they know what they have in car number 79. And McKennedy settles in for the third spot as he starts to just ease up here, it almost looks, and he's going to save his stuff. And that's what McKennedy's all about, is the 58 of Eric Goodale goes to the inside of the 60 car of Kyle Soper.
Pretty wide that time up off turn number 4, forcing Soper to ease out of it and give him the spot. So the 58 of Eric Goodale able to smooth in and slide in and move into the 6th spot. He had a busy day today. Down the road, just a couple of miles away, he had practice or a game for one of his sons in lacrosse. Then he was scooting across town to be able to watch Little League tryouts just in time to get back here for the drivers' meeting and practice here today, as he's got a lot going on here in his hometown here in the 58 of Eric Goodale, and a driver that knows this racetrack very well, picking up his first career Whelen Modified Tour victory back here almost 10 years ago in 2014.
And he was never really a regular competitor here in the Modified. He ran in our Charger division and ran very well. I think he finished third in the points. And then his brother was running a Modified Tour car, and he got to try it down in Florida, and that was it. It was all over.
He was hooked at that.
We lost Eric here.
Yeah, and many have been. And many have been. He's putting the pressure on. Eric Goodale on the move right now, 6th, but he's closed in on Dylan Sleppy into the back bumper, and Timmy Solomito. Seemed as though maybe Kyle Soper might have been holding him up a little bit, because since he got by Kyle, he has gone right after it, and he's on the back bumper of Sleppy and now in turn 2.
And it's early for him to make a march like this, but, Ed Brunhunzel III in the fence in turn number 4.
Yeah, off turn 4. Caution flag is out here for the 4th time today. So Brunhölzel hard to the right side. You see the window net is down, but the right front damaged badly as he caught the outside concrete there in the restart zone for Eddie Brunhölzel.
Hard hit for Brunhunzel. Good to see the window net is down. Sapienza with a problem on the backstretch as well, as he looks to head to the pit area.
Yeah, so Sapienza about ready to go down pit road. Pit road's still closed, but he heads down pit road anyway. The 26 just about ready to climb out of his race car as everybody continues to circulate here. Now 84 laps in, coming up on the halfway point. We've seen 4 cautions so far today, and this one has really been ripping off laps at a pretty lightning pace here today at the Riverhead Raceway. And, you know, we see so much about races here at night in the cool summer temperatures when we get down to the evening here on Long Island. But today the racetrack's very different. Racing in the heat of the day. It's been a nice, comfortable spring day here in New York, but the conditions aren't what we normally race in here at Riverhead.
No, normally it's a cool night. Tonight, if we were, or last night, had we run, it probably would have been at about the low 50s, mid 50s. So it would have been a totally different racetrack than what we have here today. So this being a hot, the pavement being hot, it's gonna free the cars up a little bit. As you can see, some of them, when they get underneath each other, they do get a little loose, and they've done a great job, all these teams, to compensate for that. And the one that's done it the best so far is Ronnie Silk in car number 16.
There was a bit of contact with 26 of Brunholz on one other car. Couldn't quite see who it was from the speed shot, but two cars did come together, forcing the 26 into the outside concrete over there in turn 4. So bit of contact there. Cleanup continues in turn 4, and we'll just continue to circulate here under the caution period. You know, we've spent some time talking about Timmy Salamito, who's pulled up to the right side of Justin Bonsignor here at the moment. Curious to see whether or not he's going to come down pit road. But he's a guy, you talked about it earlier, he ran on the Whelen Modified Tour full-time for a period of time, started a part-time running, and then went into business for himself. And he said, the racing industry has been so critical for me in being able to grow my business and how sponsorship works. He does a lot of the wraps and designs on the race cars that race here and at other racetracks throughout the northeast region of the country. He said, and then all of a sudden I find out that the sponsors of those race cars come to me and say, hey, can you wrap my delivery truck? Can you take care of the sign for my business? He's in the shine shop business and has taken his expertise and success on the racetrack and turned it into a career and a thriving business for him on Long Island.
Years ago, in the go-karts, he was sponsored by Peter Clark. Peter Clark sponsors the 96 of Matt Brody. And Peter Clark is one of the very high-up managers at Petro Fuel Oil. So when Timmy Salamito got into business, Peter Clark gave him an opportunity, and every day he is wrapping vans, trucks, service vehicles, everything, just for Petro. Then he's got all his own stuff. I just asked him down there, I said, how you doing, buddy? He goes, I'm stressed out. I can't stop thinking about business. I said, you got to go racing here. Let's go racing. He's like, I will. I'll be good once we get going. He goes, but I got so much to do tomorrow. He says, I got to catch up with everything. To get off at turn 2 and off at turn 4. So perhaps that adjustment or whatever adjustment they make will help Salamito on exit and help him come back through this field. But there's a lot of good cars on the lead lap still.
Making some air pressure adjustments there on the right rear. They made a chassis adjustment on the right rear and now coming over to the left side. Possibly a shock adjustment there on the left rear. So they're making pretty significant changes on the 66 at Timmy Salamito. There's a Turbush number 88 who rejoins at the turn 4 exit, and Salamito will come out on track as well. So field is now rolling through the start-finish line. They'll give him the 1-to-go signal. We'll cross lap 93 when we get back under the green flag. Ronnie Silk, who took over the race lead on lap number 28, leading the way. Justin Bonsignor, John McKennedy, Dylan Slepian, and Eric Goodale are the top 5. Kyle Soper, Anthony Nocella, Austin Beers has slid back to 8th. Craig Lutz making a way forward, and Jack Hanley Jr., your top 10. Green flag about set to come out, and we're back underway with Ronnie Silk in command.
Silk leads him out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Bonsignor settles in for the second spot. Slepian back on the outside of McKennedy for third.
Slepian trying to pick up for some lost ground. It slid back outside the top 5, now digging up in the high lane of the racetrack, going wheel to wheel with John McKennedy into turn 3.
McKennedy giving him plenty of room. That allows Slepian to nose hit by him at the start-finish line. Slepian needs a big run here. Good job by McKennedy on the inside to hold his line and give Slepian plenty of room, but Slepian comes to the third spot.
Boy, McKennedy had been working that outside lane the entire race, and it's Slepian who goes by McKennedy on the top side of the racetrack to move back into third. Now a little bit of bumper tag, and that will result in Jack Hanley going around in turn 3, and the caution flag comes back out. That all started with Kyle Soper got into the back of John McKennedy, and then everybody bumper tagged it accordion back to the 45 of Hanley, and he was the first one to go around.
Yeah, and Hanley was right in the middle of the corner, and around he went in car number 45. That all started when the 60 made contact with the 79 car of John McKennedy, as McKennedy had just been passed by Dylan Slepian. And what a job by Slepian in car number 10, as at one point of this event, he was running third, got stuck on the inside behind a lap car, fell all the way back to the 7 spot. He's now worked himself back up to the 3rd spot in car number 10.
Yeah, and you see it at 12 seconds a lap. You've got to be really, really quick out on the racetrack, especially on the restarts. You've got to be extremely aggressive, because once they get strung out, you can go through a lot of laps very, very quickly. And you saw Soper, when there was an opportunity, when McKennedy was a little bit high on entry, drove as deep as he could down into turn 3 to put the bumper to the inside, and that's when the contact was made.
And a great job by McKennedy not to go around. I thought he was going to go there, but unfortunately Hanley lifted and had some contact from behind.
Get another look at it here on the replay back in the pack. You know what? Hanley might not even have had any contact. He was on the brakes, seeing what was happening ahead of him, and he just stepped out of line and went around after he got on the brakes.
Yeah, when you look at the replay here on Flow Racing, yeah, it looks like Hanley was already going.
Might have been a little help from the 5, but hard to tell from that angle. So Hanley goes around, and interesting to see how he was going to run. Had an impressive qualifying effort today, and was very impressed, especially based off the results that he got with his victory here in the local series 1 week ago. Thank you, Jacqueline. As we get back under the green flag, Ron Silk now battling with Justin Bonsignor. We'll see how aggressive Bonsignor is. Not enough. It's Silk who will jump out in front. Bonsignor now settles in the line behind, and now McKennedy. The roles are reversed. The 79 of John McKennedy to the outside of Dylan Slepian. We'll see if he can do what Slepian did on the last restart.
Here comes the 60 car to the inside of Kyle Soper. Soper to the inside of McKennedy as Slepian continues to run third.
Soper working the bottom. You get past that 100 lap mark and it is time to start going. If you're back in that 6th, 7th position, you know you want to fight for the race lead. You got to work your way inside the top 3. Caution is out.
Caution flag down. Patrick Emmerling, car number 07. Some contact from the 22 of Kyle Bonsignor. And I think Bonsignor was kind of shoved in there. That's how all that unfolded.
That is the 6th caution of the day, 106 laps into today's race. As Ronnie Silk continues to lead the way. But, you know, you get to this point in the race, and we've seen this cadence where short runs are important. Those spots, the drivers are starting to notice the cadence of the race, the rhythm that we have. They're going to try to get one, and work their way up to the front of the field. And, you know, Kyle Soper is going to restart on the bottom lane of the racetrack. We'll see how aggressive he can be when we get back under the green flag.
It has been a good run for Soper in the Alan Deering owned Baker Racing number 60, Lead Towing. Deering is the owner of that company.
Get a look at the replay here. Kyle Bonsignor getting down into turn 1, got into the back of Justin Brown, and that pushed his car up the racetrack. Patrick Emmerling was there, had nowhere to go, and he tried to go to the outside lane, but when Kyle Bonsignor's car came across the racetrack, contact was made, and that sent Patrick Emmerling up to the outside lane of the racetrack. There's a driver in Emmerling who we thought would be really good here today based on the past couple of races. He's finished inside the top 5 the last 6 visits he's had here at this racetrack, including a win 2 years ago. But he's been pretty quiet today. He hasn't been able to progress up to the front of the field, and a lot of that started with an 18th place qualifying effort this afternoon.
Yeah, he was running around the 11th or 12th spot when that incident happened. I guess in the beginning, the first time he ever came here, I remember talking to him and he said, "How do you guys get around this place?" And he adapted quite well, because the next year he came back and he won. And now today, I just think, it's one of them things, if he doesn't qualify well, it's a lot of work to come through this field. There's a lot of good cars.
Well, both he and Tyler Ripkema live in that part of Western New York, and a lot of the racetracks are big. They're not tiny little bull rings, quarter-mile tracks like we have here at Riverhead. And when you're used to running big racetracks, you get into a small bull ring like this, it takes some effort to get used to it.
Green flag out once again. Here comes Sleppy into the inside of Bonsignor.
Trying to make the move work. That'll allow John McKennedy to sail it deep to the outside in turns 3 and 4. Can't do it. Sleppy in sideways in the bottom. Here comes Kyle Soper now to work to the bottom of McKennedy.
And throw Austin Beers into the mix as he's come to the 7th spot.
That's that go time.
They get the 6th spot, my apologies.
Soper now trying to pick one more off to the inside of John McKennedy, and he's clear getting down into turn 3.
Greg Lutz also starting to flex his muscles. He's come to the 6th spot in the Danny Watts Racing number 82.
The 82 has had a pretty quiet day. Here comes contact now, 64 of Austin Beers into the side of John McKennedy, trying to move into 5th.
The 60 car of Soper a little loose there as well. So keep an eye on that development. And Bonsignor is starting to seek the bottom groove on the 16 car of Ronnie Silk.
Watching that battle for the 5th spot between the 64 of Austin Beers, the 79 of John McKennedy. Austin Beers has run 3 races here. He finished 13th, 9th, and 6th in that order. Continues to get better at this racetrack. Last time here in September, at the end of last season, he started back in 26th position and gained 20 spots on the day. Today he started inside the top 10, and he's battled up towards the front. That qualifying difference allowed him to save his equipment to now when he can go to battle and see if he can carve up through a little bit further in the field.
And he basically ran single file for the majority of the first half of this event, and now Austin Beers on the march to the inside of McKennedy, but McKennedy doing a great job to battle back on the outside.
Good launch off turn 2 that time for McKennedy. Draws a little bit of an advantage over Austin Beers. Beers misses the entrance to the corner. Is that enough for McKennedy to clear him as they make it down into turn 1? He cannot.
Austin Beers is sending that car in the corner as hard as I've seen anyone.
And that's probably one of the first times I have seen Austin Beers go up there and bang on somebody's dirt car to try to get a spot away. That's an aggressiveness and a confidence that he continues to show this season.
Now McKennedy gets the spot. He gets to Kyle Soper, who's now starting to run the high side of the raceway and leaving the bottom open. So will McKennedy take advantage of the bottom, but his car is running better on the top as well.
Soper knows how to conserve equipment. He's running that middle groove on entry. Easy arc in, nice and smooth on corner exit as he tries to track down the race leaders ahead of him. You go a little bit further back. How about the number 92 of Anthony Nocella? Nocella came here last fall, won the Islip 300. That number 92 has had a pretty solid day. 13th is where he started. He's up to 7th and starting to work his way forward.
Yeah, he's starting to become part of this lead group battle as he now gets to Beers and heads to the outside. Nocella has a good race car.
It looks so stable, too. I mean, he sails it onto the outside. He can cut it underneath coming up off turn number 2. He's quickly closing on Austin Beers. Look at him drive to the outside in turns 3 and 4. Nocella's making his own lane, and he's going to be there.
I would say 10 laps ago, he was back behind J.B. Fortin. He's gotten 3 good cars. Now he's on his 4th as he tries to go by Austin Beers.
And he's making it look easy. I mean, he hasn't completed the pass on Austin Beers yet, but the car just floating through the corners for Anthony Nocella. You can tell he's not using up his equipment, even though he's faster than the cars ahead of him.
He's going to need the 60 car of Soper to get out in front of McKennedy in order to make these passes stick.
Side by side ahead, McKennedy and Soper. Nocella can clear Austin Beers. Beers will go up to the top side of the racetrack. Now he is stuck in that side-by-side battle directly ahead.
Now he's got a choice. McKennedy up the hill, and here comes the 92 to the inside.
He'll have to go to the outside with lap traffic. Melissa Fifield up ahead. This is a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. McKennedy in 4th, Soper and Nocella battling here. They'll single file for the moment to work around lap traffic.
What a job by these modified campaigners. Not touching each other, having good hard racing right now. Cars coming from the back to the front.
The lap traffic starting to play a factor here as those battles have to quiet down a little bit. Ron Silk, the race leader, in clear traffic up ahead. He's got about a half a second advantage back to the second place machine, Justin Bonsignor. We haven't talked that much about Silk as of late because he's been in his own zip code out in front of this one. Bonsignor hasn't had anything with him. The real action is from 4th on back, and now Nocella gets Kyle Soper a bit loose up off turn number 4, cuts to the inside and makes the pass in the backstretch.
And look at the groove that Ronnie Silk is running now. It resembles the groove that Doug Kobe ran when he won here at Riverhead Raceway.
Right on the bottom.
Right on the bottom, below the white line with the left front and just driving it off the corner.
The pavement's a little bit flatter. When you get that left front tire on that flat pavement, it really kicks the car sideways and allows it to cut through the middle of the corner. And that's where he's getting some speed. Now Bonsignor is watching that, Slepian watching that. All those drivers now have dropped down. They're running the same line as Ronnie Silk.
Silk about 60 laps away in car number 16.
Kyle Soper's car has faded as J.B. Fortin goes by him. Soper now back to 9th. And Anthony Nocella has raced his way inside the top 5.
Done a great job in car number 92. And a few laps ago, he was all over the 79 and McKennedy. He's hoping to get back to him here to challenge him for the 4th spot.
Beers has gotten his car coming back to life as well. For a while, when he got hide behind Kyle Soper, he started losing some ground, but after Nocella got by him, he's closed back into the back bumper of Anthony Nocella. That's the battle for the 5th and 6th spot down in turn 3.
Small battles all around the raceway right now. And here comes your race leader now into heavy, heavy lap traffic is Ronnie Silk. He's trying to lap Patrick Emmerling. I mean, these are good race cars he's trying to lap right now.
The Silk will work to the bottom. See how lap traffic plays a factor. They're racing 2x2 in front of the race leader. Silk will go to the outside around Ken Hagee. He'll follow in the tire tracks of Patrick Emmerling, but continues to hold a healthy advantage back to Justin Bonsignor, who has not been able to close in even in this lap traffic.
No, Silk has been that good. I mean, he's doing a nice job picking through traffic here, but now Bonsignor has an opportunity as they're side by side in front of your race leader. Silk's just looking for a way out of this.
Contact ahead of them. Jack Hanley into the left rear tire, and they're spinning in front of the race leader. Silk finally able to go to the outside, and he's able to narrowly avoid disaster. The 2 in front of him. Hanley got together with Jake Johnson, and they nearly collided in front of the race leader.
But it allows the 51 of Bonsignor and the 10 of Slepian to climb right to the back bumper. Caution flag down for car number 18, Kenny Hagee.
Ken Hagee stopped off turn number 2, 149 laps to go in the Buzz Chu Chevrolet Cadillac 200 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. And how about that action? Jack Hanley Jr. was battling with the 3 of Jake Johnson right in front of the race leader, Ronnie Silk. They got together on the back straightaway. Then they got together again in turns 3 and 4. Silk saw it happening. The cars went to the inside. Silk stepped on the binders, went to the right to go to the outside lane, and they were 3 wide across the start-finish line, and Silk nearly had a good day go bad just that quickly.
And it would have been normal. It would have been a normal occurrence for Ronnie Silk, where he's run so well and then ends up getting involved in someone else's incident. But right there, he used his head. He saw it well in advance what was going on and knew exactly where he was going to go as soon as they got together. So good to see Silk get through that. Good to see Bonsignor and Slepian also get through that. But those 2 cars had caught Ronnie Silk upon the incident in 3 and 4. So now, I mean, this is a regular Saturday night shootout.
So working the caution flag here today. It's been a very eventful day at the Riverhead Raceway. It's been full of storylines as the race has gone on. The pole winner was Justin Bonsignor. He was passed early in the race by Ronnie Silk. We saw Doug Kobe go down 2 laps based on an impound procedure penalty. We're getting a look at the replay here on Flow Racing and the contact between Jack Hanley Jr. and Jake Johnson right in front of the race leader Ronnie Silk. And somehow with cat-like reflexes he was able to avoid the incident and remain the race leader. But Silk has been smooth, he's been fast, he's been out in front the entire way. He's clearly in position to bring this one home. But you know what? There's this thing in racing that you can't buy, and it's called luck, and he's certainly going to need that over the final 47 laps today.
47 laps remain for Ronnie Silk. He and Justin Bonsignor have been raging their own war for the top spot, but now, if you can go, it's time to go.
Dylan Slepian sitting there in that 3rd spot. Now, you usually don't run races this long here at Riverhead. This is when the difference between knowing this racetrack and running weekly here in these tour-type modifieds versus running a 200-lap event really comes into play. You're a guy that announces here week in and week out. Slepian's in position. Does he have a car that's going to be good for the long run and get to the finish and be up there to contend for the win?
I think he definitely has a car for the long run. The question is, you know, who are you racing against? And a lot of times you'll look at that and say, I can't believe I'm having the opportunity to race against Justin Bonsignor and Ronnie Silk. But he has to be bigger than that moment if he wants to win this event. And he's got a good car, and the last 2 events here, he's come back to finish in the top 5. So Slepian has probably taken a page out of the Bonsignor and the Silk book, and he's been saving his race car. Could he win this thing? Why not? Dylan Slepian is fast here today in the Eastport Feeds number 10, and he knows this place, every inch of it. Let's see what he's got for the last 45 laps.
All right, here we go. Chevrolet pace truck going to go ahead and head in. Green flag is out. Slepian steps the nose to the inside lane, but it's Justin Bonsignor to the top lane of the racetrack, putting a bid for the race lead against Ronnie Silk as we go back under the green flag and into turn 3.
And Silk knows here, if he can't take this lead back, which he does, it's going to be hard to get by Bonsignor.
Here's Slepian now digging to the inside lane with John McKennedy working up top. McKennedy has loved the top side all day long. Now is the time to use it if you're going to find any extra speed in the outside lane.
And we've said it since lap 20 when John McKennedy started up front that he tried the outside, he passed a couple of cars, and then he settled in. He knows what he has on the outside groove, and here he comes to position number 3.
Slepian just can't keep the nose underneath him and get back to the gas on the bottom. Now Nocella into the back bumper of the 10 car. Austin Beers will challenge to the outside as Nocella lost momentum because of the contact.
Here comes Eric Goodale to the inside of Nocella. Goodale looks to make a move as they head down the back straightaway.
Nocella got bounced around there a little bit. He's got to get back into rhythm to see if he can gather it back in and find the speed that he had earlier. But to his inside is Eric Goodale, who's digging to the bottom. J.B. Fortin is there as well. He's made a nice little charge here at the end of this race to see if he can sneak up there and certainly inside the top 10. Does he have enough for a top 5?
Fortin's been very patient here today. Let's see what kind of car he has left for the end of the race. He is going to the outside of Goodale to pick up that spot, and Fortin has a good car here.
That's a battle for 7th as Fortin is able to get around and move into position. He's got Anthony Nocella directly ahead. Out front, Ron Silk continues to lead the way. No pressure from behind with Justin Bonsignor. Great action, though, deeper in the field. Everywhere you look, tight, short track racing as you would expect here at Riverhead.
165 laps down, this time by for Ronnie Silk. As he starts to pull away from Justin Bonsignor. The 79 car, John McKennedy, runs 3rd. 4th is Dylan Slepian. 5th, back to 5th, is Austin Beers.
Austin Beers starting to use that chrome horn a little bit on Dylan Slepian, trying to push him out of the way and get in position to be able to move into 4th. He'll look high again, trying to set him up on the back straightaway. Behind Beers, Anthony Nocella. He's found his rhythm. He's back to the back bumper of the 64.
Yeah, Nocella right now could be one of the stronger cars on the raceway. as he is searching the top and the bottom, which he was using right before that caution to come through this field. Beers now with a peek to the inside on Slepian. Slepian able to hold him off. Ronnie Silk, 169 laps down, this time by.
Seems like every time Austin Beers goes to the inside in turn 3, he hits that bump on the apron, and it upsets his car just a little bit, and he can't gain the ground he wants to. He's much better in turns 1 and 2 over the 10 of Dylan Slepian.
Here's Slepian. They've now caught McKennedy. This duo has caught McKennedy, as McKennedy had about a 4-car length advantage over them, and now they've caught him.
And they're all
Slepian and Austin Beers. I mean, this is great.
And they're all catching the 51 of Justin Bonsignor.
And the 16 is pulling away in Ronnie Silk.
Under 30 laps to go. 171 up on the scoreboard. It'll be 28 to go. This time by for the race leader, Ronnie Silk, in dominating fashion, looking for that first victory here at Riverhead Raceway. And boy, he's been strong to this point so far. Can he bring it home? We saw how close contact among lap cars could have spoiled his day, and there's a whole field of lap cars not too far ahead of the race leader.
And he's going to get to them in probably 5 to 6 laps at the pace he's going. We're 174 down, 26 remain for Ronnie Silk.
No work to the outside of Melissa Fifield. Put her a lap down. Bonsignor, John McKennedy have now fallen ahead, or fallen back a bit. Contact between Austin Beers and Dylan Slepian. Beers goes sideways. Slepian holds on to the spot, and Anthony Nocella now challenges to the outside.
That all started with the 92 bouncing the 64. Then the 64 got angry and sent it in a ton. Was able to get by Slepian, and here comes Nocella with him.
We'll see if Slepian returns the favor. Beers is going to try to get away from him. Lap traffic. There's a contact. Slepian sent it deep down into turn 4. Didn't hit him hard enough, though, as now Nocella hard on the binders. He goes up the racetrack. He'll lose 3 spots in turn 1.
Here comes J.B. Fortin in the 34 car to the inside of Slepian. Fortin comes to the pit spot. What a ride for J.B. Fortin in car number 34.
Top 5 run going for J.B. Fortin, and boy, a run that is needed for him. This team has showed a lot more strength and improvement than they did 1 year ago. And to have a good solid run here in a stretch of tracks that are all small like this. Lee USA Speedway flat track next week, Seacon Speedway in June. We got a series of short tracks, and so the cars that can pick that momentum up here are going to set themselves up well to the summer months when we head to the mile at New Hampshire.
Silk is 19 laps away this time by in car number 16. Second is the 51 of Justin Bonsignor. Third, car number 79 of John McKennedy. To fourth, Austin Beers in the 64. J.B. Fortin is fifth.
Tyler Ripkema in 6th. Have not talked about Tyler Ripkema very much today, and he's had a solid run. We talked about how he and Patrick Emmerling don't race on tracks like this. He felt like he was getting better at it. Jan Leedy, who prepares both of those race cars, put a setup under this 32 car here today, and no surprise to see it fast with the results that Patrick Emmerling has had here in the past.
Winding him down here, 15 to go. Next time by for Ronnie Silk, but Silk approaching heavy lap traffic.
He's off turn 4. Jack Hanley on the bottom. That's where he found trouble earlier in the race today. Hanley slips up. Silk goes to the top side and tries to bypass Hanley into turn 3, and he's clear there, but they are again side-by-side lap cars directly in front of Ronnie Silk.
Let's hope they get...
Oh, trouble. Nocella goes around off turn 4. Caution is out. No contact into the outside wall for Nocella. Barely missed it. Caution is out. 186 laps in of 200.
Caution flag down for car number 92, Anthony Nocella, having a great top 10 run. He went around in car number 92. Oh, not what Ronnie Silk wanted to see.
No, but he has been stout on restarts. I mean, you would love to see it go green the rest of the way, but you got to look at it from the positive side. You got 2 drivers right behind you and near you that race you with a lot of respect. And Justin Bonsignor is one of them, John McKennedy another, Austin Beers, young driver in his career, but typically not a guy who's going to give you the elbow and the shoulder and send you out of the way. He's going to have clear racetrack ahead of him. For Ronnie Silk, the caution may hurt a little bit, but you know what? He's got a really good race car.
He's been good. They've been good the entire event. And he has changed his line to that bottom feeder, left front wheel below the white line. And he's been able to pull away from Bonsignor.
You know they'll all be up on the wheel here when we get down to single digits.
Oh, it's gonna be nuts.
For what we think is going to be the final restart, but they are going to be up on the wheel. And we have seen wild finishes, among them Justin Bonsignor and local favorite John Beatty just a few years ago. How'd that one finish, Steve?
That finished with Bonsignor backwards across the start-finish line, winning the event. It was a green-white-checkered finish, and Beatty chose the top. When he chose the top, Justin kind of used them up going into 1 and 2, and Beatty was leading as they came to the white and went back into 1 and 2 again, and Justin used them up again. Didn't wreck him, just kind of took up his space, and then Justin got in front of him. They went down in here to 3, and Beatty gave him a shot going in. He got under him, and Justin started to come down on him, and he cleaned him out, and he rolled across the start-finish line backwards
and won the race.
The event.
Now, Ronnie Silk has chosen the bottom all day long, and he'll do that again here. 1 to go.
He has to.
1 to go. When they come across the line, they'll double them up. We'll have 8 laps to go in the Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Ronnie Silk at the bottom. Justin Bonsignor, outside lane, road number 2, John McKennedy. And Austin Beers, road 3, J.B. Fortin and Tyler Ripkema. Pace truck is in. We'll turn them loose. Green flag is out. Silk and Bonsignor headed for 1.
Good restart for Bonsignor. Silk slides through 1 and 2. As they head down the back straightaway, Justin Bonsignor to the race lead.
Bonsignor ever so slightly puts the 51 out in front to the outside lane, and Justin Bonsignor with 7 laps to go takes over the top spot. Beers shuffled out of the outside lane trying to challenge for Ronnie Silk.
Silk coming back though. Let's see if he has enough to get his rhythm back. He's got 6 laps. If he can get to Justin Bonsignor.
He's had the faster car all day long, but he hasn't been in second since the early going. Bonsignor opens up the bottom lane. Silk puts the nose there, can't make it stick.
Bonsignor has better drive off at this point, but here comes Silk to the inside.
They get together off turn 2. Silk muscling his way to the inside lane. Contact again in turn 4. The two beating and banging on each other, but Bonsignor holds on.
Here comes Silk again with a bottom shot out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway.
Bonsignor slid it sideways, straight even across. The two together again, both together as they come across the line, but the caution flag is out. 5, 6 cars into the outside wall in turn 3. 3 laps to go when the caution flag came out. Unbelievable racing between two champions, Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignor, beating and banging on each other on both ends of the racetrack. What is it going to be as they come back around and reset the starting lineup based on the last completed lap before the caution flag came out?
Oh man, that was great. They were hitting each other just enough. I see Dylan Slepian involved. I think that's Roger Turbish up there, car number 88.
Window net is down on that 88 car.
John Beatty Jr. was involved in the 5. The 92 of Anthony Nocella involved. The 96 of Matthew Brody also involved in that incident.
Now we'll wait for the official order here, but how they do timing and scoring in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour is the last completed lap is how they reset the starting lineup. So as they came to the caution flag, Silk had completed the pass, but the caution was out when they came around to the line, and the way the rule book reads is it's the last completed green flag lap. Justin Bonsignor had the race lead at the line, and he's being shown the race leader.
And now, for the first time in probably 100 laps, here's the replay from Flo.
22 of Kyle Bonsignor was the inside. Dylan Slepian was 3 wide middle. And the 49 of Chris Young was in the middle of it. Turbush came in late. The 5 of John Beatty, the 96 of Matt Brody. Boy, that took out almost all the local drivers in one fell swoop.
One crash together.
So Justin Bonsignor being shown the race leader. Now, you know, this is a home track for Justin, home track for his car owner, Ken Massa. They bring a lot of friends and families to the track here. And they've got a lot riding on this when you've got all kinds of people supporting you here at this racetrack, making noise here in the grandstands at Riverhead Raceway, cheering on their favorite drivers. And can Justin Bonsignor please the hometown crowd get his 10th win at this racetrack? You look at the success of this driver. Multiple champions on the Whelen Modified Tour, 35 victories. Over a quarter of the race wins that he has had have come right here at this racetrack. He's been outstanding.
And there was a time where Justin Bonsignor was basically done. They had no money to go. We made an announcement here at the Raceway that this kid was so good and just didn't have enough money to go buy tires. And he met, through another driver that he pitted next to that night, he met Ken Massa. And that's how that all started. Chris McGuire was a Charger driver at the time, sponsored by M3 Technologies. And Ken Massa started speaking to Justin and his father in the pits. And next thing you know, here they are. They ran here for a season. Then he did both. He did the tour and he ran here. When he did that, he won the championship here in one of their backup cars. He won the championship. He did some job that year. And now look at him. I mean, 3-time champion of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He still has the fastest lap ever at this racetrack.
But it's not in a modified.
It's in a go-kart. Okay, my man was out here in a go-kart going 10.5s or 10.6s. He wouldn't lift. He was just flying around this place like he was a kid again. It was great. But
well, he had some of that go-kart skill on that last restart to take over the race lead on the outside lane. He sailed it down into turn 1 like he was driving one of those go-karts.
And it was great move. And Silk, great job by Ronnie Silk. He could have cleaned him out over here. He could have dumped him. He could have done anything. He didn't. He raced him. He raced him as hard as Bonsignor raced him. Let's hope they finish it that way.
I mean, they were definitely beating and banging on each other. But nobody got sent. Good, solid, short track racing. They're standing again and getting ready to go back after it again. If it wasn't aggressive, absolutely. Was it hard-nosed racing? Absolutely. Were they up on the wheel? No doubt about it. But they were doing what they had to do to win these races, and they are hard to win. We've seen 3 different winners this season. Will we see a different winner here today? We could. Justin Bonsignor has not yet gone to victory lane. Ronnie Silk has. What about John McKennedy, Austin Beers?
And those two, well, they're just sitting back and watching now. They're hoping those guys take each other out or just use each other up enough to get the bottom open. And McKennedy or Beers can come by on the bottom. I can't wait. We're gonna have to stand up for this one, Joe.
Well, McKennedy has got the only bumper up there that's a chrome horn.
That's gonna use someone.
And he might need it if he's gonna win this one. But like I said, I stand by it. I can imagine, hey, these guys, they were aggressive, but it was short track racing. And we're gonna see more of that here. It'll be 2 laps to go. We saw how effective Bonsignor was on the outside lane. Silk saw that. His team saw the launch he got. Bonsignor really strong on the restarts. He's going to need something similar to be able to hold off Ronnie Silk this next time.
I would have to think that Bonsignor is going to want to start on the bottom. I can't see him wanting to let the 16 get up and into him and upset him through the corner. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but, Bonsignor, I got to think he's going to start on the inside here. Although he's been good on the outside all day. So, I don't know. We'll know soon enough.
Just making sure the lineup is ready to go. We are in overtime, 207 laps in to today's Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200. It'll be a green-white-checker finish. If they come to the white flag, the next flag ends the race, whether it is the caution or the checkers. That's how we'll do it here today for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. But it'll be a 2-lap shootout to the finish and an overtime finish here today. We're glad you came back and joined us again on this Sunday edition of Perfect Day for Racing. And if you joined us on Flow Racing back home, make it out to the racetrack near you. But we're glad that you joined us here on Flow Racing. Atop the flag stand, Sean Houlihan, Bob Slade will give the 1-to-go signal as the field comes by this time. Bonsignor chooses the bottom, Silk to the outside lane. 2 laps to settle the Whelen Modified Tour event here today.
An incredible event by all these NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour campaigners here today, and it comes down to this, a green-white-checkered finish.
Strap in, Bonsignor on the bottom. Ronnie Silk to the outside of the 16 has dominated the race so far today. Green flag is out. Silk spins the tires, and Justin Bonsignor gets by to the inside. Bonsignor away and free with the lead. Here comes McKennedy to the bottom.
John McKennedy, car number 79 to the inside, but to the outside of McKennedy, here comes Austin Beers as they come to the white flag.
White flag is out this time for Justin Bonsignor. Silk is there. He gets into the back bumper off turn 2. Down the back straightaway. Bonsignor into turn number 3. Checkered flag is waving. They spin behind, and Justin Bonsignor is now a 10-time winner at Riverhead Raceway. Off turn 4, on the final lap, Austin Beers spun after contact from behind. His good day gets spoiled, and he will come around at the tail end of the lead lap and finish in 17th unofficially. Justin Bonsignor gets the win on a green-white-checkered finish. Ronnie Silk was there. Could not quite get it done. Bonsignor going to spin around here along the front straightaway and salute the fans here at Riverhead. But what a show. What a day. A couple of serious veterans going at it. And it's Justin Bonsignor who's going to come out on top of this one. Silk on that final lap in turn 2 put the front bumper to the 51, but it wasn't enough to root him up out of the way and capture the win here this afternoon in Riverhead. So Bonsignor from Sean Houlihan will get the checkered flag, make a victory lap here at his home track out of Holtsville, New York. You heard how his career started here. Almost had it end here, but was able to find the sponsorship that he needed in his current car owner, Ken Massa, M3 Technologies, and now their current sponsor, Phoenix Communications and Coastal Communications, when they travel down south. And Justin Bonsignor and this team victorious here. 4 different winners to start the season. Bonsignor, a victory lap here today. In reverse order, will come down to the start-finish line with the opportunity to celebrate with this whole team here today. Silk came across in second. McKennedy came home in the 3rd spot. Pretty solid run for him today, and one of his better runs here at the Riverhead Raceway. Was able to come home with a top 3 finish. So Justin Bonsignor has made his way down to victory lane here at Riverhead Raceway. About ready to climb out of that number 51 machine. Started from the pole, gave up the lead on lap 18, but got it back when it mattered most on those last 2 cautions, and was able to capture the victory here today over Ronnie Silk and John McKennedy. Tyler Ripkema came home in 4th. Eric Goodale was 5th. J.B. Fortin, Patrick Emmerling, Jake Johnson, Craig Lutz, and Kyle Bonsignor. That is the top 10 running order here today. Well, let's make our way down to victory lane. Let's hear from our race winner, Justin Bonsignor, as he gets ready to climb out of the race car. Let's go trackside to Jacqueline Drake.
Race fans, put your hands together for your Buzz Chew Chevrolet Cadillac 200 winner, Justin Bonsignor. He's going to receive congratulations from his wife and take a drink of water after what a close finish that was, that final restart. And all his team members here. All right, one more time, and out of the car. Out of the car, Justin Bonsignor. Justin, congratulations. What a hard-fought race that was. You're right behind Ron Silk for the entire race and then able to capitalize on those final restarts. Walk me through the last restart where you took the lead and ultimately your 10th win here at Riverhead.
Yeah, Ron and I have been beating the hell out of each other all year, putting on shows at I think 3 of the 4 races. So Yeah, that caution with whatever 20 to go or whatever it was 15 to go was just good for us, and I got a really good restart, and he spun the tires bad, and I was able to get down in front of him, and he could roll the apron, beyond the apron of 1 and 2 so good, and I couldn't hold the bottom. He got under me. We were beating the bang. I thought we were going to wreck when that yellow come out. Thank God we didn't, and you just can't take the top on a green-white-checkered. So just rolled the bottom like he did, and just wait on the throttle, try and get it square. I was out of tire. He was a little better than us in the long run, but you got to keep yourself in these things late in the race, and cautions fell our way, and just unbelievable to get number 10 here. Just can't thank my whole crew enough, Ryan Stone and the entire team, Phoenix Communications, Clearcom IT Solutions, Robert Yates Engines, Fury Race Cars, M3 Technologies, Ken and Janine Massa, everybody involved here. It's just it's a cool way to get into victory lane here in a battle like that.
You getting your 10th win here at Riverhead, obviously so special for you, this being a home track, and with championships underneath your belt with a tour. But where does this rank on your resume of just how special it means to you?
They're all special. This is our 36th win, 10th year. We're one behind Mike Uninsko, who they're going to honor here next time, and we could have a chance to tie him. So that's been a goal of ours for a long time, and to get this close is pretty special. So anytime you can win these races is special. We've won our fair share over the years, but they never get any easier. These guys, everybody's team just tries harder and harder each year to take down the previous year's champion, and we had a great streak, and we've been fighting back for a while now. We had a tough year last year, and we've been pretty consistent this year. We're a second-place car again today. I think we've been a second-place car just about every race. So you put yourself in that position, and you're going to win races. So, and we did today. So I just want to thank all the fans for coming out. Yeah, that's it.
Test.
Check 1, 2. Hey, you want to finish over here?
I just want to thank all the fans for coming out here. Tom Gatz, Eddie, Connie Partridge, John Elwood, everybody for sticking with it this weekend. Yesterday was obviously a pretty rough day, and to see this many fans on a Sunday is awesome. And hopefully Jason Casallo can go win the Legend Car race for us.
Congratulations. Justin Bonsignor is going to bring home the third NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour win of the season in the Buzz Chu Chevrolet Cadillac 200. We're going to make our way over here to our second place finisher today, Ron Silk. And Ron, you were silky smooth all day today. You ran quite a strong race up until those final restarts. Walk me through what was going on in your car.
Yeah, silky smooth right to the end, but I don't know. We had a great car. This is the best car we've had here in a while. I thought I was a little bit better than Justin even after he got by me there, but it's just really hard to pass. We're all hanging on at that point, and it's tough to the bottom's where you want to be, but it's kind of tough to hook up the tires there on the restart, and I didn't do a good job of it, and he was able to get in front of me. So congrats to those guys. They did a great job, and this is the best we've run here so far, so hopefully we'll be a little better.
Well, congrats on a podium finish today and a well-run race for Ron Silk in that 16. And in the third place today, we have Jonathan McKinney. Jonathan, you were concrete in that third place position, it seemed like, all day today. But how was the handling on your car towards the end?
I was definitely going away like everyone else. Just we're all out of tire and just really hanging on. But we made the best of it. We had a really good car. We were just a little bit too tight rolling the center to really run with Ronnie and Justin. That was our weak point during the race, as well as all day. But overall, the team did a great job. This was statistically one of our worst tracks. So come out of here with a solid top three. I'm pretty proud of that, and we're going into some tracks where I've had a lot of success in, and I've won in multiple divisions. So I'm excited to go to Lee here next weekend, and we go to Seekonk and Thompson, all really good tracks for me. So hopefully the momentum keeps going, and we can get this thing in victory lane soon.
Third place, John McKinney.
Well, thanks a lot, Jacqueline, and it's another race in the books for the 2023 season for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. 4 races, 4 different winners. Let me go ahead and just run down the unofficial finishing order here today so you can find your favorite driver. Justin Bonsignor, the race winner. Ron Silk, John McKennedy, the top 3. Tyler Ripkema was 4th. Eric Goodale rounded out the top 5. 6th for J.B. Fortin. Patrick Emmerling rallied back to 7th. Jake Johnson was 8th. Craig Lutz 9th, and 10th for Kyle Bonsignor. Timmy Solomito was solid early in the day, came home 11th. Chris Young was 12th. 13th for Kyle Soper. Jack Hanley Jr., even with the spin, came back to 14th, and 15th for John Beatty Jr. Anthony Nocella, a late race spin that pushed him back to the 16th position. Austin Beer spun on the final lap, unofficially 17th. Justin Brown 18th, 19th for Doug Kobe, 20th for Gary McDonald. 21st was Melissa Fifield. Matt Brody, 22nd. Dylan Slepian, good, strong day until he got caught up at the end of that wreck in turn 3 and 4. He finished 23rd. 24th for Roger Turbush, Ken Hagee 25th, and rounding out the running order, Eddie Brunholzl, Dave Zapienza, and Chris Turbush. That was the finishing order unofficially for today's Buzz Chu Cadillac Chevrolet 200 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. We thank all of you for coming here today. Stick around, more action still to come here on the track. But on behalf of the Whelen Modified Tour and NASCAR, I'm Joe Koss. Thanks for coming to Riverhead. We look forward to seeing you again when the series returns on June 24th and back again on September 16th. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, everybody. More racing still yet to come.